Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is Alex and this is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, oh yeah, it's him. It's Albert Reynoso. I was kind of late in doing this because I didn't remember that we made an appointment for today. Because usually on Fridays, I never do this sort of thing. So,
well, now you're doing it on a Monday.
I'm doing it on a Monday. I'm going to move my...
Don't know when it will air, but it's on Monday. How do you like my new voice? This is what I do every Monday. I do Monotone Monday.
Is that monotone?
Monotone Monday. Every Monday I talk like this to everybody.
I thought monotone was like this.
Well, this is my monotone. I don't go any further than this.
You sound like an alien, though.
That's the way monotone is, like an alien. We never did Monotone Monday. I always wanted to do Third Person Thursday, but you just couldn't.
I couldn't get into. I couldn't do it.
Too hard.
Explain Third Person
Thursday. Third Person Thursday was something that I thought up that we could do every Thursday, where when we have callers on the air, we would all talk in third person. So instead of saying I, you would say Albert. I would say Albert, and it's, for you would call yourself Alex.
Yeah.
Alex doesn't like that.
Well, that I could get into, but you made it more like...
No, it's very difficult to do because you have to do it constantly and you keep forgetting.
Because you don't do that naturally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, except for people that do it naturally, and we know some of those.
Yeah, Third Person Thursday. I remember we tried it and I went crazy in the middle of it. Like, I can't do that.
There were some good listeners who called in and got it really nicely. But it's very difficult to do. And I didn't even bring up Monotone Monday because after the tragedy that was Third Person Thursday.
Well, hold on a second. Let me get a tissue here.
Monotone Monday is much easier than Third Person Thursday, but I didn't think of it until...
I feel like I have to sneeze.
After we were off the air. Go ahead and sneeze.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Bennett's going to sneeze right now. There it is.
No,
it's almost like a cat.
No, that's my... By the way, we have a cat here today.
Oh, you have a cat?
Well, we have a cat. They're friends, and they drop their cat off and have us take care of the cat for like a couple of days.
Oh, good. That's nice. Very nice.
It's kind of, you know what I like about having a cat in the house?
See over my shoulder?
Yeah.
There's my cat.
There's your cat.
That's Sophie.
Right.
Sophie's hanging out.
Yeah, Sophie. The thing about cats that I love is cats make a house feel comfortable.
Yes, they do.
You know? Because they're always the essence of comfort. You know?
With minimal disturbance as well. There's not a lot of smell. There's not a lot of noises. It's a very calming, comforting feeling.
Yeah, yeah. And this one, before, it's taken her a while to get used to the house. She stayed with us for a couple of weeks once. And then, of course, she went to her home. And then we didn't see her for like 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And then they brought her back for us to take care of her. She immediately knew the place.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing how much cats remember.
Well, it's been said by scientists that is one of the species that will be here long after we're gone.
Well, I think it is a superior species to our own in many ways.
I would agree with that.
I mean, our species just takes everything and intellectualizes it. You know?
That's one way of putting it.
You know, I mean, cats would never have anything like MAGA.
No.
You know, they wouldn't think that something like that wouldn't be very important to them.
No, they would make sleep great again is what they want.
Here's what happens with this cat. So she's got a couple of things. One is a little jar of kitty treats,
Mm-hmm.
which she gets one a day. Okay, so when she hears the bottle rattling, she knows, hey, it's treat time. Okay, only last night I have a pill I take for my leg cramps, right? And I opened up and took 2 of the pills, and I rattled the pill bottle, and she's right there waiting, thinking it's the other one. So I faked her out on that.
Did you give her one?
No, because
Not one of your pills, but one of her treats. You should have given her one.
Well, you see,
That's not nice.
The rule is we're only supposed to give her one a day.
That's nonsense. You can give them 2 treats a day.
She had rules like, we have to pick the food up by 8 o'clock, so there's no food out after 8 o'clock. I don't know why.
Why? Cats are grazers.
Yes, exactly. Good
Cats
point.
don't eat everything in one,
That's the point I
gulp
gotta
like
make.
we do.
Yeah, they don't. Dogs, you put down a bowl of food and you turn around to look at something, you look back and it's gone, right?
Yep.
Cats, they snack. They don't go.
The only thing bad about cats is the musical. Otherwise,
outside of the musical,
that's pretty good.
They're fine. But I mean, cats are amazing animals.
Yeah.
And they are amazing in just the way they look at life. Life is easier than we make it. It's not complicated. It's no big. Like I every time I turn on the TV today, and I don't know when this is going to run, but there's the Israeli-Hamas war going on. And they're kidnapping people, and they're killing people, and they're lobbing rockets, and they're lobbing rockets back. And I'm going, why are you doing that? We only have so many blessed years here on Earth. Why not use them for something a little better than that?
Because we're not cats. We're humans. I'm always amazed at our desire and ability to kill each other. It amazes me.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But it is apparently part of our makeup, and for reasons unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we would not be doing it anymore.
Yeah, right.
But apparently, that's what we are.
Yeah,
killers of each other and other things.
Yes, and other things. I mean, we're just. I think we're not. We always think of ourselves superior to the animals. I'm superior to my cat. No, you're not.
That's just a justification to treat them poorly and kill them.
Every cat that I knew, boy, I do look pale today, but I think it's the lighting and my thing isn't,
Move along.
Yeah, setting itself upright. But I've always found cats. I always found I had a cat called Shabbos, and I said he was my guru. He was so, how can I put it? So zen, all right, that I could pick him up. One time I had to pick him up for some reason or another, held him in my arms, walked across the street in New York City, right? Didn't even panic. Just looked at the traffic. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
More stuff. More new stuff. All right. Get me to sleep.
Yeah. Okay. Then I took him back to the apartment. But I was amazed. Nothing. Nothing. So I really think I think we should start looking at cats and trying to emulate them. Dogs, not so much. Dogs have a certain other agenda that I'm supposed to like dogs, but I don't.
What do you mean you're supposed to?
I'm supposed to like dogs.
Why?
Well, because everybody likes dogs. Marjorie goes,
everybody likes dogs.
How come you don't prefer dogs over cats? Why don't you like dogs? I mean, if you told me I had to get a pet, I'd get a cat. I wouldn't get a dog. To begin with, you got to walk them.
Yeah, that takes some time.
That's for starters. Then you got to pick up their poop.
Now, yes.
Okay.
Remember the 70s, you didn't have to do that.
Somebody said if an alien landed on Earth and looked at this whole process, they'd think the master was the dog.
If an alien landed on Earth, we'd all be dead because they'd say, this species kills everything. We better get rid of them.
Even their own planet, they're killing.
Yeah. Better get rid of them.
We don't really have respect for life. I mean, I never understood war, for instance. Never understood it. Is that built into our DNA?
Yes, I'm sure it is. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was built in for the reasons of not having your food taken, not having your space invaded. Mm-hmm. But it's turned into not having your ideas challenged. It has nothing to do with territory anymore. It has nothing to do with taking your stuff anymore. Mm-hmm. It has to do with your ideas are different from mine, so I have to kill you.
Yeah.
That's what it's become.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad. We're a pathetic human race, aren't we?
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think to myself, when I look at something like that war, hey, people only have a certain amount of years here. Why are we making it miserable for each other? Just solve your problems. Don't fight them. Don't kill people over them.
This is exactly the same thing a similar thing that I thought yesterday. I thought, this has been going on since I'm a kid, and I thought, no, this has been going on for a couple of centuries.
This has been going
on. What the hell? When do you get to a point where you say, I'm going to kill them because they attacked me, but they attacked me because I attacked them before that, and I attacked them before that because they attacked me? When does it get to a point where somebody says, this has got to stop? We've got to learn to live with each other. When? Or does it?
Well, it doesn't. That's the problem.
I hope you're wrong about that.
So
far it hasn't.
Well, you would think, okay, here's my theory. Always was my theory ever since I was a kid.
What is your theory, Alex?
I believe in evolution. Darwin figured it out. I believe in it. I believe that we evolve. But I'm beginning to question that. Because if we evolve, don't you think we would evolve out of this barbarism?
Yes, I do believe that's the next step, and I do believe that human evolution is not going to be in having more fingers or faster legs. I think that the evolution of humanity has got to be here in our philosophical intelligence. That's it. That's going to be the major evolutionary breakthrough for humanity if we make it to that point.
Do you think we're going to make it to that point?
Difficult to say. Because there are a lot of people that think that way, and there are a lot of people that think in that way. But unfortunately, most of the people running the governments and the positions of power do not think that way. They think of, we got to have as much as we can and get it from them. Or they don't think the way we do, so we have to eradicate them.
You're closer. You're getting closer to death. I'm even closer than you to death.
What do you mean? Why scare me like that? What do you mean I'm getting closer to death?
Well, you are.
I don't mind it.
You're how old now? I forget.
61.
61. Okay, so you're getting there. You're getting in that bubble, where people start to go. And are you ever bothered by the fact that you won't be here to see how it turns out?
I'm not bothered by it. I think it would be fascinating to see the end of, if not the planet, then just humanity. But I don't think that will happen in my lifetime.
Well, who knows about what happens after this lifetime? Do you have any theories, by the way?
I have many theories.
Okay,
about it.
Give me a theory.
Well, my theory is that there is an essence, an energy that is pervasive in existence that gives us and every other living thing its ability to be, and that when we are born, we get that essence somehow. And after
we have that energy,
that energy
built into us,
becomes built into us when we are born.
Okay.
After we die, and the birth and death cycle are only for us as human beings and living beings here on this planet. On other planets and other universes, whatever may be, it manifests itself, but perhaps in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But my thought is that essence leaves when our physical body dies, and continues.
So this is a vessel.
I don't like to use the word vessel. We're human beings. That's what we are. This is how it's manifested.
All right. All right.
And when we die, we don't. It's not going to be Alex is going to that place and Albert is going to that place and whoever else is going to that place and we'll be back together. We won't be back together like that because we've never been separated. That essence is all one essence and we all share it. We are all that essence of existence, and we will continue to be that essence of existence after our bodies.
So what happens with this essence once it leaves this body?
It exists. It is the essence of existence, and it continues to exist, and it is existence and being itself. We are a manifestation. This energy that I'm talking about is an energy that is transformational and is able to experience. It is an experiential energy, unlike most of the energies we know, but it will never cease. It will never change. It will always exist. And in that, we as the being, as the self that we are, will always exist. Not as Alex the human and Albert the human, but as that essence, which is what we are, essentially. That's what I think. In a brief couple minutes.
Yeah. So what happens to that essence? What happens to that energy?
It still exists. The Alex and the Albert still exist, but we are the essence. We are that thing. And we will know it after we're dead.
Can we, in that new essence, can I call you on Zoom?
No, there's no need to, because you and I will be one. We are the essence. We are that existential essence that never goes away.
Okay. But what is that afterwards, after this essence is here? Okay, let's say getting born into this is the jumping off point for that essence.
What do you mean getting born into this?
Well, you get born. My mother gave birth to me, and at that point, I'm born with this energy, this essence.
No, you are not born with the energy. You're not born. The energy is part of the birth. It's as if the water of the sea washes over the millions of grains of sand. When it washes over the sand, that's you being born. When it leaves the washing, when it ebbs, that's you dying. But the essence is still there. The Alex essence, it's all part of one big sea of essence, which we are all.
But that wave's going to come back in again.
Yes, that's right. And that's when we die. That's the death.
No, it goes out. You say that's when it's the death.
Oh, yes.
Now, but the wave goes out, it has to come back.
Yes, it will come back. It comes back forever.
So where does it come back? Is this reincarnation you're talking about?
That's what some people might call it, reincarnation, but I wouldn't say you're going to be born as another thing. I would say you're going to continue to exist as part of that essence in different ways, as you did when you were the human being Alex. You may be a part of some other existence somewhere that we can't even conceive of. That's what it is.
But when we get there, let's say our essence goes somewhere else, okay? Because I've thought about this too.
What do you mean go somewhere else?
Well, you die.
You die and you're part of the essence.
Yeah, but the essence, you mean the essence is a whole big thing?
It is the energy of existence. It is always there. It has always been there. It will always be there. It's not going anywhere. We are the temporal things. We are the things that don't last. Yeah. This body of ours.
Yes, the body doesn't last, but you say there's an energy, so that energy goes out there.
No, the energy is there. It's in you now.
Okay, does it get to inhabit another person or thing?
It doesn't get to inhabit separately. When you die, the essence isn't Alex dying. It's the essence returning to what it is, to returning to what
back out to sea.
Energy
back out to sea.
Yes, but you're not Alex going back out to sea. You're the essence leaving Alex's body.
There's no name to this essence. There's no name to it.
I'm writing a treatise right now, which I'm trying to develop some informational properties for, but I don't have.
You have a lot of spare time, don't you?
Oh, I always have had a lot of. I'm a human being living on Earth. What do we have but spare time?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Which is another thing I don't believe in either. Is time.
Time is what?
It's just a measurement of interaction. That's all it is.
Well, I wonder why this is Monday. And
because we said it's Monday.
And tomorrow's going to be Tuesday.
Because we've said it's Monday. We as human beings have decided that we have to quantize things. We have to put things in order. This is what we do. We have a language.
Well,
because
we do have a need for time because you wrote to me and you said, let's do this on Monday.
We do have a need.
So it's a convenience. It's a convenience.
It's a measurement of interaction.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. I don't believe it's a thing. Time's not a thing. Time is
a
measurement where Alex and Albert have agreed to, when the sun is over there on our planet here, we need to Zoom call each other. That's what it is.
The question is going to be when we get to Mars. Mars takes
Who
longer.
gets to Mars?
When people get to Mars, humans get to Mars. You don't think they're going to get there?
Very, very difficult to say.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. So we get to Mars, all right?
Mm-hmm.
A year is based upon the rotation around the sun. Rotation around the
as we have said that it is measured.
The rotation around the sun for Mars is much longer.
Right.
All right. So, the question is, that would be a year.
A Martian year.
A Martian year.
Yeah.
So how do we relate that to us as Earthlings who say this is Monday, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday? It's all out the window, right?
It's not all out the window. It's relative. That's why they say time is relative. It's relative to where you are. No time in any one place is the same as the time in any other place. If you go up to the top of Mount Everest, you have a different time than you do down here.
I mean, if you're out on Pluto, the amount of time it takes to go around the sun is incredible, like years, right?
I hope so.
Yeah. So now you're on Pluto, let's just say, for giggles and shits and giggles. What is the relationship of that to your, like, when's your birthday? Your birthday is once a year.
You have to, that's like speaking two languages. You have to be able to say, I'm here on Pluto at this place and time on Pluto. And you have to associate that with where people are or someone is on Earth. Mm-hmm. There's not one thing. That's like speaking Spanish and English. You can't speak Spanish and English to each other unless you both know Spanish and English.
Right.
To know what's going on Pluto and how to reach someone on Pluto, you have to have a commonality between the two times.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just confused because the whole calendar and the way in which we relate to the calendar, that this is Monday, is all based upon the sun going around, the Earth going around the sun.
At this point.
Yeah.
At this point.
And it takes, what is it? Is it going around the sun days are the rotation of the planet.
Right.
And years are the rotation of the planet around the sun.
Correct.
Right.
So far as we know now.
So far as we know now.
We used to be the center of the universe, the Earth. Not anymore.
Yeah, we used to have that
sun
theory,
used to be the center of the universe. Yeah. Maybe not anymore at some point. Who knows?
Yeah. But getting back to it all, bottom line, why do we spend most of our time making other lives miserable? Why do people go to Washington D.C. to get this power? What's all that about? That's
when we spoke last, Alex, a week ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I read the comments below, and some of the comments just blew my mind. They were great. People were really responsive in what we said. But I did say that there are four things that I think are inherent in humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And that we are selfish,
mm-hmm.
hypocritical,
mm-hmm.
judgmental liars. And that's why we kill each other, because we want it all.
Well, once again, we've come to the end of another philosophical
Already?
25 minutes with Albert Reynoso, but we will do this again really soon.
Yeah,
Or
good.
You and I will do it in a couple of minutes, but for the people watching, it will be really soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, your effort, and all of that. And I'm sorry I forgot you were calling me today.
It's a thing that happens.
It's amazing how fast I set up this whole thing, though. Except my face is a little pale.
I'm not amazed. You're a professional. You've done it for decades.
After I've had coffee, do I look more awake?
Not a bit, no.
Not a bit.
No.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the always complimentary Albert Reynoso. Thank you, Albert.
Thank you, Alex.
Okay.
Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the great American broadcast network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yes, hello. Hello, how are you? What's doing? What's new? Well, how you being? Okay, good. I'm glad. Okay. Because the camera's up there. Albert said that what he did, he moved his camera so that it's in the middle of his screen. Now, if I did that, I couldn't do a lot of stuff, but he can do it, and he looks directly into the screen, because you see, if you look directly into the screen, my eyes are not facing you. If I look like this, I'm looking up at the camera, see, up there? But if I look at the center of the screen, it would be better, because that's where I look all the time. Anyway, I gotta blow my nose. Oh, God, been quite a day today. Oh, boy, dealing with lawyers and dealing with figuring out things and whatever. Today, my lawyer tells me let me see it. Well, I get an email from him in the morning saying, hey, listen, take the renewal thing that, was all wrong, right? Has the wrong numbers on it. Just cross them out and put in the right numbers. Well, that's easier said than done, because what I got to do is I got to sit here and figure out this percentage of that and this percentage of that. I found the best way to do it is through Google. It'll give you the right answer every time, right? So I fill out this whole thing, I scratch things out. It's a messy page, but it's a matter of just saying, okay, we signed it and sent it back to you corrected, all right, which isn't going to do anything, but it at least shows we tried. Okay, and here we go again with this goddamn landlord who doesn't want to admit the fact that he lost a case, and that the rent is what the rent is that the judge said it was supposed to be, and they want to base their renewal on different rent, but the renewal they have to base it on is the lease that they signed, which they signed 2 years ago. So they have to base their amount on that lease. They can't just make up a number and say, okay, here you owe us $2,000 more. And I've been dealing with that all day and writing the lawyer back and forth and sending him figures, and it's just been. And then I had to Marjorie had to run off to FedEx, and she sent him a version of it, and then I had another version of it, and I mailed that to him using Priority Express through the post office, so he could get it tomorrow, and then he would send it off with a cover letter. Oh, it's just such a mess, and it's getting to the point, where I would just be willing to give up, and just for the peace and quiet of it all. But if I do that, they win, and I can't let them do that. So, but then again, my lawyer did say to me, hey, well, why don't you just send them the renewal? Why don't we send them the renewal back? Okay, signed, but all the things crossed out and the proper numbers put in, which is a mess. Okay. And he tells this to me today. It's Wednesday. The thing's got to be to them by Sunday. And I'm going, why didn't we think about this maybe, I don't know, a couple of months ago, maybe a year, when we were in the middle of this whole thing, and you could go, well, why don't you just cross everything out and then we'll send it to them, and if they don't want to accept it, they don't want to accept it. But to wait this long to do it, I mean, so it's been a bad day for me. It's been a terrible day for me. And now it's even worse because only one person is waiting to talk to us. Not that it isn't somebody who's decent and fine, but gee, it would be awfully nice if other people would call the program. No, I don't want to remove Charlie. Cancel. No, I want to admit Charlie. There we go. Somebody else called, but it was a phony name I didn't even recognize. So, Jared F. entered the waiting room. Well, go get rid of yourself, Jared F., because I don't want to have anything to do with you. Okay? Okay, there we go. So Jared F. is removed. Do you believe in Jared F., Charlie Wallace?
I don't trust anybody new these days.
Yeah. I don't either. And it's getting depressing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the only people who are calling are people who are trying to, give me a bad time and just impinge on the program.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because of the baseball playoffs? Where is everybody?
What, is there some baseball playoffs going on?
Yeah. They finished with the regular season and now they're leading up to the World Series. They have the wild card.
Wouldn't the games be over by now?
Depends on where they were playing. If they're playing out west, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's in the playoffs personally.
I have no idea. Maybe Alan does.
I'm sorry, Alan does what?
You know who's in the baseball playoffs?
Yeah, right.
Okay, see? Neither one of us know.
Okay.
It's the fourth quarter. What do I know?
We were just trying to figure out where everybody is.
Yeah.
Here, it usually takes them a few minutes on Wednesday.
No, this isn't Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's usually better on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It will be.
Nah. Nobody listens to the show anymore. Nobody cares about this show anymore.
Yeah, we care about you.
The show on Monday, I mean, like Charlie will admit to it, we have a ton of people on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14, 15.
Well, a lot of people go to bed and have to work, but on Monday, it's in the afternoon.
Maybe I should move this to a different part of the day.
Yeah.
But then it might not be available to other people,
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Brian Neary, maybe he could call sometime and sometimes he couldn't,
But that's true with this time slot with him, too.
Yeah. Maybe I'll change the time slot. Try that. To begin
How
with.
about an hour earlier or something?
An hour earlier?
Oh, it's 8
Would that
o'clock
make
here.
much of a difference?
Yeah.
8 o'clock here. That would give people would, if they work like Brian, they would be able to get home.
So if I did this at 9:30, it would be. If I did it at 9:30, it'd be better, and went until 11.
Yeah, probably 9:30 your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know. I'm just exhausted from everything. Let's see
You're
here.
telling me.
Oh, here comes Kevin. Okay.
All right.
So at least we got a foursome here. Hello,
Yep.
Kevin. How are you?
Hey, Alex, how are you?
Yeah. Robert Maudsley has entered the waiting room.
Oh, another one.
Do you want to see? Let's see who this is. Okay, I will turn on my camera. All right, my camera. Okay, now people can just see me.
Right.
Now we will admit Robert Maudsley. Let's see what Robert Maudsley has to offer to us. Hello, Robert. Are you there, Robert? There he
here
is.
comes.
There he is. There he is. And
comes.
there we go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Stop video.
Yeah,
Okay,
be
goodbye,
careful.
Robert. And we will, let's see here. Put in waiting room, remove. There we go. Okay.
Where do these people
it's-
come up with these bogus names?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Lousy intro.
Yeah. Where do you get those lousy names? Anyway,
Why doesn't somebody call in and say they're Donald Trump or something,
Robert Maudsley.
Maudsley, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just thought I'd try them. What the hell, occasionally there might be somebody new who wants to join the show. I doubt it, but there might be somebody new, and, So, Robert, you never got on. If you're listening right now, they never even saw anything about you because my face was up there. So,
Yep.
The other night, we had, on Friday night, we had the world's most disgusting, vile video that somebody put up as a Zoom thing, as a Zoom
the one where
blast or whatever they want to call it. And, but on the repeat that I put up, you may notice it's not there. I didn't do away with the segment. I simply covered the squares. It didn't take me that long to do. It wasn't that much of a problem. And I did it, and I was so proud of it. It looked so good. And everybody's going, "Oh my God, I can't stand that. Get that off my screen."
It was pretty gross.
I had dreams of that shit.
Dreams of that shit, did you say?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, can I come out and live with any of you people? I think I'm about to be evicted here.
No.
Absolutely. You got a room here.
Yeah, you got a room. I have a spare room.
Well, my lawyer did say that he felt that if the landlord tried anything, I have a strong case.
You think?
Huh?
You think?
Well, the lawyer could go and want to evict us, and then we got to go through that whole procedure, and then we got to say why we wouldn't sign the renewal, but we ultimately did sign it today with the changes. Okay, but do you know how messy that is on a form?
It looks great, though.
What?
That looks great in court. We'll say we signed it. It's just the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then they'll show it on the little screen, and everybody will see it, and they'll say, "Well, why is it like that?" Well, because that's the way it's supposed to be. It should have shown up like that, all typed up, but we fixed it.
Yeah. Then my lawyer said, "What?" Then I wrote him tonight again. And I said, "You forgot one thing, the deposit that we got to send them. So why don't you make out a check, send them the deposit, and then I'll send you a Zelle or whatever it takes to pay you off. I'll send you a check." Or you
just put a bunch of black marks on it and say redacted, 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 and then send it back.
Yeah, well.
Like they do on TV,
So, my lawyer waited till today to think, maybe we should send that thing back with the things crossed out. And I thought of that one 2 months ago.
Was it due tonight or something?
Huh?
Was it due today or something?
No, it's due on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. They do that. They'll wait till the last minute.
Lawyers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. And then I had to mail it to them by FedEx and then by mail priority. Do you know priority mail costs more than FedEx?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can play around with those. I deal with that all the time.
Really? How do you play around with it?
Oh, you just shop for different rates. I mean, I'm always shopping for rates.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Marjorie went over to FedEx because the machine at the post office wasn't working. And so she had to go all the way across town, halfway across town. And then she came home and I found a second version of the thing, and I redid it in the thinner ink so it maybe show up better. And I sent it to my lawyer by mail. Then my business manager writes me and tells me, "Well, the number you had for the deposit was wrong because it's like 3.20% of the 507. This was for like the deposit or whatever, $500.07. And I said, well, that was the number I got from, I'd already sent it off to my lawyer. And I said, that's already the number that I got from Google. I just put it into Google. And I don't know where he got his number, but I put it into Google again, and I get the same thing, which is like $16 flat, right? I just, so I was going through that and having to write my lawyer back, and it's just messy. It's just, don't want any part of it. I hire a lawyer, go do the fucking job, you know?
Yep.
Take care of it for me, and, you know, if you would let me know about this, say, 2 months ago, I would have sent you the forms. You could fill them out, then I could sign them. You know, it's just ridiculous. So, what the hell, you know? I mean, I give up, but I don't want to give up because I don't want these guys to be able to get this apartment.
No, don't give up.
No,
so they're gonna grind you down.
They're trying to already.
Yeah, well, that's how they do it.
I mean, they're just refusing to go by what is legal. Oh, here's one. The boy yeet yeet. Yeah, sure. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Go away, the boy yeet yeet.
That's a good one. At least it's being honest.
Yeah, well, this is enough to make me go crazy. And I'm not even going to trust some other people that come in tonight that are people I know. Because they were
Like
doing
the guy
that.
that sits on the corner and says, "I'm not going to lie, give me $1 for a beer."
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, you know, it's let's see here. What's that? I'm looking for business Facebook. What? I don't want that. Let me get rid of all of that. I'm just trying to. I just, you know, life is not easy anymore. And then I fell tonight. That was another
Again?
thing.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sue the guy that sent you the cane.
You know, what happened was it's kind of strange. My foot got a cramp, and the way you handle a cramp is you get up and stand on it. Well, I got up to stand on it, and then as I tried to walk forward, it kind of collapsed beneath me, and I went to grab the knob on the door, and I slipped and slid. My foot slid, and I fell on the floor. I'm tired of falling.
Do I have to send you a walker next?
No. When it's time for a walker, I'm not going to walk.
Okay.
All right, I will give up on walking. All right, let me see here. Wait a minute. I just want to start my Chrome up again here, so I can see what I need. But anyway, so you know. So I've got all these things going on. I'm just sick and tired of this crap, you know. And I know they're trying to wear us down.
I can't watch the news. Past couple days.
Oh, that I
It's
can't
all
watch.
about-
Yeah, what?
All about what Hamas has done in Israel.
Look, let me first of all say that Hamas is unconscionable. Okay,
Yep.
Horrible, just horrible. All right. So that said, I feel sorry for the people who live in Gaza and
Right.
have to suffer the consequences of these assholes.
Yeah.
Yep, and they're embedding themselves all through there.
Yeah, and the Palestinians are getting it bad, and you know, and so when Israel lobs missiles into Gaza, they're probably killing a lot of innocent people who, you know, had nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult situation, but let's feel sorry also for those people who are, you know, not guilty parties in any of this.
Well, yeah. So Hamas did an act of terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Israel doing? They're defending the country. Defend your country. I'm for that. But defend your country and find out where Hamas is and hit those buildings. Don't just do arbitrary blowing up of buildings.
Well, you know,
they're doing that, but they can't pinpoint them if they spread out and embed themselves in the
yeah. I
in
mean,
the general population. That's the problem.
It's a real problem, but the question is, how much do you cluster bomb Gaza? You know, I mean, you know,
They're bombing known places where Hamas is hidden. You know, but you know they can also pull all those people in there too.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of other people around it. So, and
It's a really screwed up situation.
Also,
nobody wins a war.
Well, I'm kind of mad at Israel, okay, and I'm mad at them because of because in all these years they've really done nothing
Yeah.
to try and create peace in the area. You know, they wouldn't go for the two-state resolution, you know, and so on. And the only person that really pushed ahead a peace treaty was Yasser Arafat years ago. But on the whole, Israel has done nothing, and under Netanyahu, nothing is happening because this guy is just a right winger who wants to bomb everybody.
He's
But,
just
you know,
playing
he
hard
was-
ass. That's all.
He did.
Yeah.
I think he did a lot of good for Israel, but not recently. The Supreme Court crap that he's got going on has shown the world how vulnerable Israel is. You got all the people standing up there protesting.
You know, this little bombing and everything. This Hamas thing is good news for him because everybody's forgotten about the Supreme Court deal.
Right.
You know, it's now everybody's on a war footing, and they've forgotten about that. But what the Supreme Court thing was going to do, that Netanyahu was going to do, was really deprive the Israelis of their rights. Okay, and really put him in charge like a dictator.
Yep.
So let's not forget that that's been going on.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you another theory I have. America always, when Israel has problems, comes to Israel's aid. All right? They're always saying, we've got your back. We're on your side. And you know why
As
they
they're
do
doing
that?
now.
I'm saying that act in and of itself is anti-Semitic. Now let me explain why. Because what they assume is that in America, they don't want to lose the Jewish vote or the Jewish money. And they all figure we're rich, which is an anti-Semitic thought. You know, it's an anti-Semitic assumption. We don't. And you don't have to come to Israel's defense necessarily. Now, in this particular case, yes, I would come to Israel's defense, but not because it's Israel, but because it's any country. But what are you going to do? Pull money away from Ukraine? And you don't want to give money to Ukraine anymore, but you're willing to give money to Israel?
That's where it gets nasty
Yeah,
because
that's where it's probably going to happen once they get the speaker.
right.
Yeah.
The Republicans don't want to give any more money to Ukraine, and most Republicans and Democrats are pro-Israel. So that's what's going to happen.
Well, they're pro-Israel, and but they're pro-Israel because of this anti-Semitic notion the Jews are rich, and that's where they'll get their money from. Otherwise, they wouldn't care at all about Jews. They didn't care about them in World War II, did they? You know, so whatever. You know, I'm sick and tired of the whole thing, but I think that what's happening there is terrible. It is just terrible. I mean, the way in which the Hamas is fighting this war just goes against every amount of decency that you could possibly have. Not that there's anything decent about declaring war on somebody. And not that wars aren't horrible and terrible and ugly. But boy, they never get this ugly, do they?
Well, it's a terrorist war. It's a terrorist attack.
This was a
You know.
terrorist attack, not
I mean,
just
because
Oh, well, that excuses
because
it.
they got well, yeah, it's just because they got voted in as a government
Mhm.
at one time, and who knows how that election went.
Yeah.
You know, they say they were voted in, but you know, and the Palestinians supposedly voted them in, but who knows how that election was fixed? you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. But it's not the case anymore. Let me just put my face on temporarily here, because we're going to go to Jeffrey Stein, which I think it is Jeffrey, but you never know. You know, it could be somebody using. Oh, there we go.
Oh
There's
God!
Jeffrey.
No!
not another
That's ugly. Oh,
not another gay porn.
is that somebody taking a dump? Is that what that is? Oh no! Oh, wait a minute.
Jeffrey,
that is Jeffrey.
Put your pants back up.
That is Jeffrey. Let me.
Have a seat, Jeff.
He's not there yet. He's working there.
He's working it. He's
working
at-
the audio.
There we go. You got it,
There he
Jeffrey?
is.
Yeah. Just came in from New York today.
You just came in from
You-
New
you're-
York.
You got your pants up, right?
I got that. Yeah, I got them.
Okay, good.
Ah,
Good.
Yeah.
We don't want any surprises.
Nah, no.
But I mean, it's terrible. You know, it's terrible all the way around. And I don't know what we do and how we handle it. It's a very weird war to handle because, as you say, like for instance, Hamas has all these tunnels under Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Nice.
so how do you know where to hit those? I think the only way to really prosecute this war, I hate to say this, is send the troops in. Okay? And then
Yeah.
you can go down to those tunnels and clear them out. You know?
They're gonna do it. You can bet on it.
Well, yes and maybe no. I mean, how good were they at predicting this thing happening? They should have known this was coming, but they didn't. They didn't see
That's
it
the whole
coming.
thing is the intelligence wasn't there in the beginning, and there was too many people just sitting there, sitting ducks.
Yep.
Well, I think there were too many people sitting on their hands.
Yeah.
You know. Plus, I just so much. You know, it's been how many years? 1948 to now,
Yeah.
and it's just been this problem continually.
Been
Continually.
percolating for a long time.
And Israel, on its own, has done nothing to dampen it down. You know?
Well, you almost sound anti-Semitic, Alex.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'll tell you, I am politically anti-Israel.
I know that.
You know, I've always been against the politics in Israel, and I think, you know, a lot of people in Israel feel exactly the same way. That's why they've been protesting against Netanyahu and the current government. So I'm not alone. People in Israel feel the same way. I've never
you're
liked
not
I've
alone
never
there.
liked their politics particularly, and I don't think they've handled this whole thing with a certain amount of decorum. All right.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm not, I don't want to say I'm anti-Israel. I mean, Israel is a country. It has been since 48. I think, for one, the Palestinians and the, you know, the Arabs and so on should kind of say, okay, it's been here that long. It ain't going anywhere. Now let's figure out how we get along. You know, they haven't done that either. But, you know, Israel hasn't done much to create a positive feeling in the area. So it's a big mess. And it was a big mess that was started by the United Nations in 1948.
Yeah.
That was a decision I was completely against. Not at the time.
Israel was not
because
part
I
of
was
the
8
United-
years old. But, you know, what?
Israel's not part of NATO, which surprised me.
It's not part of NATO?
I looked on NATO's website last night, and it surprised me that they're not.
Really? I would
Because
think.
they're in the North Atlantic,
Are they?
aren't they?
Mediterranean.
Well, I mean, if you
North
go,
Atlantic. Is that
I mean,
considered
they're
North?
right on the ocean almost. I mean, it's the Black Sea or something like that, but it feeds into the Atlantic Ocean, doesn't it?
I think you're right. Yeah, it is the North Atlantic. I wonder why they didn't join NATO.
I don't know.
Did maybe NATO not want them?
I don't know why.
You know.
Well, if they were a NATO member, NATO would be, you know, putting boots on the ground right now. Article 5 of NATO says if any NATO country comes under attack, we get involved. NATO countries get involved. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So why was Trump so involved with them? You know. You know, he was
Again, I'm
such a
talking.
buddy. It's
I'm
all
go-
the money.
I'm going to mention that anti-Semitic
Yeah, it's the
attitude.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an anti-Semitic attitude. Oh, the Jews have money. I better be nice to them.
Yeah.
You know, believe me, Trump doesn't do anything that doesn't benefit him personally.
No.
You know, so what the hell? You know, but it's just so
Yeah.
sad.
It
And
says they hold the status of a non-NATO ally. Whatever the hell that means. That means they
yeah, what does that mean?
they can be backed, I guess.
by
But they don't have to pay. You know, so
But
here's
they can
Trump
be
making
backed
all these
by
things
they
about
can They can be backed by NATO.
Yeah, but I guess, what's that whole thing with Trump making the big thing about, how everybody has to pay their portion of NATO, but Israel doesn't?
Yeah, Israel borders on the Black Sea was wrong. They border on the
Mediterranean.
Right?
yeah, the Mediterranean. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah,
Yeah.
which actually goes to the Atlantic, but a little area in between Gibraltar and something else here, Tangier. There's a little
Well, I
area.
just felt that the whole idea that the UN came up with, okay, when they allowed it to become a state, become a
That's
nation.
interesting too, because they call it an MNNA, a major non-NATO ally, designated by the United States. What the hell?
Yeah, really.
That's
weird.
That's weird as shit.
Turkey is a NATO country, and
That's like an out that we gave them.
right.
Wow.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I just felt that the whole idea that the UN came up with, or that they were actually strong-armed into making, because all the Jews went down there into Haifa Harbor, and they were going down there, and they were threatening to go into the country and so on. So they decided to give them the homeland. That is their homeland. Well, it's a lot of other people's homeland as well.
Yes.
And
lot
so
of
you were
Christians.
never going to have a peaceful solution that way.
A lot of Christians, a lot of Muslims live in Israel.
Well, the peaceful solution should have been to portion off part of Germany and give that to the Jews, because after all, weren't they owed that?
Absolutely.
But nobody suggested that,
Yeah.
and so consequently, what we got is a really terrible problem for how many years? 1948 to now. I don't know how many years that is. My math's terrible.
70 years, something like that.
Yeah. And I think it's time that that somehow every president that's come into power has tried to bring peace to that part of the world. It's almost been a thing that presidents feel they have to try, and none of them have succeeded at it. None. I hope Trump doesn't claim that he succeeded at it, although he says, if I were president now, this wouldn't have happened. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, sure. Like he has
Right.
that type of power.
Yeah. Hamas listens to Trump.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. He claims that Putin wouldn't have invaded the other countries.
Yeah.
War Putin invaded.
Ukraine.
Putin was a friend of mine, and I could have talked him out of it. Sure, you could have. Wrong.
No, what he would have done is use Trump.
He uses every president, and he's admitted that.
Yeah.
There was a nightly news or something. He was being interviewed, and they were translating it. That Putin was, and said, now that Trump's out of office, he claims that you guys are good friends. He says, I'm not friends with him. I use him like I use other world.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. Yeah.
And I'm sure Trump was in shock that they weren't friends. You
Right.
know, I mean, you were an idiot to believe that this guy's not a dummy.
Yeah.
Like you, Trump.
Jeff, how do you feel about this, Jeff? As he tries
You're
to
muted,
yourself.
Jeff.
There you go.
I'm very concerned about the world is still very interested in anti-Semitism.
Yeah, but do
You
you consider this excuse me? Do you consider Hamas anti-Semitic?
I think so.
But they are Semitic.
Wow.
They are Semitic.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should describe it with something different, which I'm not quite sure what it could be, but
I think they're anti-Israel.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Israel doesn't have terrorists.
because I don't think that,
Hamas is a terrorist organization funded by and trained by Iran.
they say that's alleged. You may be possibly be right, but that's alleged. We should say.
But I still feel like that while Trump was trying to get to extend as a president, even though he wasn't, he had all. Remember, had the whole the medical facilities and the government places. They tried to take all these people that came in there and blew the place down, and they had what 1,000 or a couple of people that really Trump had set around a bunch of people, and they were all a tremendous number of those people were also very racist people also.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me a lot is when I watch the news at night. The news people over there are abysmal. I mean, there's this one guy that NBC has who's pretty good. I can't remember his name right now offhand. He's really good, but he's not one of the main reporters. But like Lester Holt, why is Lester Holt in Israel right now? I mean, is he going to solve the whole problem for us?
They're all over there, and
yeah, they're all. Over
I know that. I know they're all over there, but why?
And the one that's bothering me right now is Erin Burnett. I usually like watching her, but she is over there, I think, to make people cry.
Yeah, well, that's what they're all doing, though.
And it's just
Lester
like
Holt is doing the same thing.
It's like, my God, you know, they ask the questions and then they keep digging deeper and deeper.
They
and
don't
deeper
even
to see what
ask the
happened.
questions. Here's what's worse: they give the person they're interviewing the answer.
Yeah, and then
In other words,
how do you
rather than
feel about your daughter being killed and dragged away and beheaded in front of you?
It's worse than that. It's something like if they just said, "How do you feel about all of this?" Okay, that's an open-ended question, and now the person answers it. But if you say to them, "Are you aggrieved by what's going on? Has this really hit you badly?"
Yeah.
Well, then what you're asking them? You're asking them the answer.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all trying to. If somebody starts crying, do they say cut? We don't want to. We don't want to take that person.
No, they stare at him and wait for him to do it some more.
We don't want to take that person's grief and broadcast it. That's not right, right? No,
it's getting bad.
They just tape the camera on the guy and the tears coming down.
They've been doing it in Ukraine for the past year.
Yeah, I mean, it just gets to me after a while. Marjorie today, she was watching MSNBC today, and finally she said, "I can't watch any more of this."
I turned it off. When the news starts and they start interviewing people, I turn it off and go in the other room, come back 5 minutes later to listen to the weather or something.
You know, this is a crap show. She said, you know, it's just too much. You know, I mean, some of the saddest stories you will ever hear of are coming out of Israel right now.
It is.
Okay?
It's
no question
terrible
about it. But you don't exploit it. You don't exploit it for ratings.
Yeah. These shots we're going to show you are terrible, so you may not want to watch them. And then they loop it over and over again.
Yeah.
One time is fine. Don't loop it over and over again.
Well, I think that you should have more respect for people than to broadcast their grief for your own.
Or sit there and go, I know this is hard for you to watch, but you see your son being beaten there. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. It was a good day.
Yeah.
What do you expect them to say?
No, they don't even say, "How do you feel about that?" They say, "Isn't that terrible?"
Yeah.
See, again, providing the person with the answer they're supposed to give.
Yeah.
I just every time they do that, even here in America when it happens, and they just show somebody and they just had a tragedy and now they're crying their eyes out. Hey, turn off the cameras.
Yeah.
You know, don't broadcast.
Be a little bit compassionate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's
So
really
somebody put on the news on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, that the Chicago Black Lives Matter Foundation.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Said they are pro Hamas and Hamas, and I'm like, oh, come on.
How can you be pro Hamas? I can see how you can be anti-Israel. You know, you don't believe in their politics and then whatever. But how you can be pro Hamas if you've got any brain in your head?
Yeah.
What do you think, Charlie? You've been quiet about this.
I can't believe that any group would say they're pro Hamas here in the U.S., much less black.
Oh, I can. There's a lot of anti-Semitism here in the U.S. and so, but I don't think the blacks who are going through what the Jews went through would come up and make a statement like that. I'm sorry.
You know, if they said they were pro-Gaza, or they said they were pro-Palestinian,
right?
That I understand.
Yeah.
And
okay,
that's fine.
different question altogether.
Right. Yeah.
But when you say that you're not, you're pro-Hamas. I mean, Hamas to begin with
a terrorist.
is a terrorist
They're
organization.
doing horrendous things over there. How could you be pro any of that?
Yeah.
Chopping the heads off of babies? Give me a break.
Well, then they did it in the name of Black
Like
Lives.
saying you
They did
support
this tweet in the name of Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
You know, Chicago BLC says, you know, we're with Hamas.
BLM.
BLM, excuse me, BLS.
Black Lives Matter. It's okay.
WBLS is a black radio station, so excuse me. No, but BLM, you know, is for Hamas. What? Are you speaking for all BLM?
No.
You know, it's just it.
The leader of Black Lives Matter, I think it's a female, was on the news today and said, this is not our position. We are with the Americans. We feel bad for what happened with Hamas. They're a terrorist organization and they attacked Israel, and we are for Israel and not for Hamas.
Right. Period. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and good for her to stand up and say that, because some people in this world, we won't name anybody, like Republicans, oh, I saw it on Twitter, and so it must be true.
Well, that is just a statement from the so-called, but what it is that BLM is a large organization of people all over the country. And to say that for BLM, to, you know, they did say BLM Chicago. You know.
I heard Chicago. I heard Black Lives Matter Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I would have trouble believing that too, because Chicago, there's so many Jews in Chicago.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing to me that there are people like the networks who are taking full advantage of this. This is a godsend for them. This is money in the bank. Okay? Oh, we're going to get high ratings with this one. And the more we have people crying, you know, and blah, 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 rather than just saying, you know, let's report the news here, you know? Let's report what's going on. But don't turn it into a just as, I mean, I see Lester Holt there with just, you know, people crying. And
I like listening to him at night, but I don't like listening to him right now in Israel.
I don't like him at all.
No, that's okay.
You know why? Because he's black.
Why?
Yeah, because he's black. No, I don't like him. I just think he's always, you know, kissing the butt of the audience. You know,
Oh, but isn't that what the
and what
news
he's
does
doing, what he's
nowadays?
doing is in Israel is classic Lester Holt. You know. Now I don't know how the other ones are handling this, but I think they're probably handling it just as badly. You know, I don't watch that woman with the eye wings. What's her name on CBS?
McDonald or something?
Nora McDonald.
Nora O'Donnell.
Nora O'Donnell.
O'Donnell, that's what
Yeah. She, to begin with, for some reason, she's over there and her makeup person didn't go with her. Because she's looking pretty worn out, you know.
Yeah.
She's looking much older. But I just don't get it. I don't get it. And then, of course, if Lester Holt is there and all of a sudden he has to jump into a bunker because there's a siren, they then videotape that like, oh, we have to get away from the bombs, and boom, you know, No, it's just a siren went off, and everybody decided to go into the bunkers because that's the best place to be.
Well, Israel has that iron dome across them, and they're intercepting everything.
Are they now? They
them.
weren't in the beginning.
Well, they did a pretty good
that?
job of it. They're all standing outside, and they're just going off, and they're getting intercepted.
I'm hoping we have the same technology if it ever happens here.
Right, exactly.
Well, we're the ones that gave them the technology.
Right.
Well, they'll use me as Iron Dome. So, yeah. But
I got it.
you got it. Okay.
I got it.
Good. Doesn't matter if the rest of them didn't.
Right.
Hey, I haven't seen. Have the Republicans done anything about the Speaker of the House?
Yeah, they haven't voted on
Yeah,
it yet.
Scalise got an unofficial vote, thumbs up.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering because the House can't pass any bills like emergency
Well,
funding.
you know,
for
why can they find a decent Republican? Huh?
Yeah.
Why do they have to find all these? Oh God! You
Shit
know.
disturbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name? Jones. What's his name?
Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan. Yes.
God, he's terrible.
GY.
He got voted out of the picture. So,
Has he?
yeah, if they did an internal vote, is what it said. I can't find it. I read it an hour
That's what I was
ago.
asking because I hadn't seen it.
They'll bring it up on the House floor in the next couple of days or early next week.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, and they'll get. I'm glad that he's not going to become Speaker of the House. He's just as reckless as McCarthy was.
Yeah.
You know, the shitty thing to me about the Republicans right now is they wanted to interview the president over his impeachment.
Well, here it says
While this shit's going on in Israel.
Well, they say here Republicans failed to coalesce around Speaker. Oh my! I don't have my glasses on. Speaker choice, leaving the House in limbo. So you're wrong. They haven't come close.
It's what I read. I might be wrong. I'll see if I can find it.
Well, just because you read it doesn't mean it's whatever. Let's see here.
All right, I found it on CNN. Hold on a minute here. It says October 11, 2023. Steve Scalise wins Republican vote for House Speaker nominee. And
For House Speaker nominee.
Right. It says House Republicans pick Representative Steve Scalise as their nominee for Speaker on Wednesday, but the Louisiana Republican lacks the votes needed to gain.
There we go. See, he lacks the votes.
That part wasn't in the original story. Oh, fuck them.
Well, you probably didn't read down that far.
Maybe they'll wait till 2024 when. Fuck. Hey, you know, the Republicans have so fucked up this country. You know, if they can't do it with Trump, they'll do it with Congress.
Well,
I see that they're going to kick Santos out. That was another blurb.
Well, they are just going to kick him out. Jeez, you know.
Well, they're going to.
But what was the latest thing he was using for people who wanted to give to his campaign? They could do it by credit card.
Again, credit card.
And then he took the credit cards and kept using them to line his own pockets.
Right. Yeah, they just indicted him again yesterday or something like that.
Yeah.
Over that.
This guy's going to jail for a long time.
Oh, no. Probably.
Oh, wait a minute.
Good.
Innocent until proven guilty. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to indict him right
Do we
now.
really know the guy's last name is Santa? You know, I mean, what do you know that's
We
real
don't know
about that?
anything about this guy.
No.
Yeah. I mean, they indict him. What name do they indict him under?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
X.
It's amazing. Amazing world we live in now.
Huh.
None of this makes much sense.
You know, somebody who brought this up. I don't know if it was Jeff or Kevin. You know, about the world is a real mess right now and stuff. Is this the start of Armageddon and just
Probably.
just getting a slow start?
Well, Armageddon out of here.
Yeah, no shit. I'm glad I'm in the like the last third or quarter of my life. I
Really?
feel bad for kids nowadays having to live in this country or anywhere in the world for the next 30 or 40 or 50 years.
Really?
It's such a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I say.
I can only hope they'll be smart enough to figure things out.
I hope you're right.
The kids?
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think so? You think they're capable?
I think some of them are, but I think a lot of them are pretty complacent.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure your kids are okay because you raised them. You know?
I hope to think so, and I think a lot of her friends are, but that's only a minute amount.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kids that are like that, but it's really hard to tell nowadays who is interested in this stuff to worry about it. And
Yeah.
there is a good amount of people that are, and kids that are, but how is that going to translate in the future, and how many are going to hang on to do the protesting and that sort of thing that needs to be done?
Yeah.
That's the question that's never been answered, and you can't tell, because people like us used to do that stuff, and it's being done now, but it's fading off, and people are just saying, oh, fuck it, this is the way it's going to be, and it's hard to tell what's going to happen in the future, and I think that, to me, it feels like the government is taking advantage of that. And if they can grab a hold of that movement, there's going to be problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who's a cop in the Israeli army, and he just sent the text and said that they're continuing to bomb Hamas. It's continuing to send them up with their Iron Curtain shooting them out of the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Hamas doesn't have an Iron Dome.
No, Israel. They're still firing missiles today
Yeah.
into Israel. We're trying to get.
All the Iron Dome is it's a system whereby if somebody
Yeah.
tries to lob a missile into
It's
you,
like our Star Wars system to be able to knock the missiles incoming out of the sky. It's
Yeah.
actually working better than I thought it would.
oh no, their Iron Dome when it's working, I guess they didn't have the switch turned on the other day.
There's something.
But when the switch is turned on, that Iron Dome really works.
What does it do? Does it send the bullet back?
No, what happens is they've got a bunch of missiles on the ground.
Now,
And the
wouldn't
minute a
that be
missile
nice
comes
to get
in,
first?
it shoots a missile up to intercept it.
Right.
So that
Blows it up.
Blows
nothing.
it up midair.
You can stand out
Okay.
there and you can watch.
Yeah,
the
they're
whole
out there
lo-
doing interviews, and you can see them going off in the background.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I mean,
That would be great if we could return the missile to where it came from.
I always wondered,
idea
where's all the shrapnel go?
well, the ability on
Balls to earth, I
on
would guess,
Hamas's
Kevin.
part was to do this without the Israelis knowing that it was going
Right.
to happen,
Yeah,
so they could
Well, it
lob
was the
enough
end
of
a high
those.
holiday.
So they could lob enough of those in there.
Right.
And
Right.
I gotta
50
say
years
that the
today.
genius of their plan also was that they were also going to send in. They were literally paragliding people in.
yeah, they worked close to the border, is what they did.
Yeah, and they went
Yeah.
over the border and started taking people and kidnapping them, and doing terror things, by wiping out whole families.
Paraglider was a little different. These are like James Bond's paragliders. They're gliders with motors on them.
Yeah,
So
and they
they
also had guys running with ramps for motorcycles, dropping
Yep.
the ramps and then going over in there. Like what was that movie?
Yeah,
Some guy was at the music festival, and Lester Holt was interviewing, and they show the guy hiding behind his car, and somebody from Hamas walks over with a rifle and
Yep.
shoots the guy. You don't actually see the blood, but you see the guy's body jump from a high-powered rifle gunshot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
These
terrible.
people.
It's
They,
terrible.
they go into somebody was being interviewed, and this is why I had to turn it off last night. I couldn't stop. Somebody was being interviewed and said, yeah, their grandmother was at home, and Hamas rushed into the kabad that they were, into where they're living, whatever you call it, not a kabad, but
what's a kabad? I never heard of a kabad.
Whatever. So, rushed into the home, terrorized her, tortured her, and then killed her, and killed the 2 little kids there, chopped their heads off.
Well, this is what I don't get.
Filmed it, and then they put it on her.
Then they put the film on. Yeah.
On her Facebook channel.
I mean, to me, I don't understand what possesses people to do that. I can see that war is one thing. Hatred of your enemy is another.
Yep.
But to go in and say, okay, we're going in now, we're going to kill babies. Now, if you believe all that is true, and I do, but we have to put that caveat there because the reports are coming out of Israel. It's not coming out of, news people particularly. They've been fed that information. But the fact that they're killing kids, babies, is just unconscionable. There's no reason to do that. Let me put it that way. In the name of your cause.
There's no reason to put it on Facebook either.
No, but there's no reason to do any of it for your cause. You want to kill other soldiers? Right. You want to kill police? Story. You want to do any of that?
Right.
That's war. Story. That's called war.
That's right.
Okay? When you go around trying to kill babies and children and
there was some kind of music festival going on.
The music
and they
festival
killed everybody there.
They didn't kill everybody, but they killed a lot of people there.
Yeah. 300 or something like that.
But why people even do that is just beyond me. What are they thinking? I don't understand any of it.
Thinking.
What?
They're terrorists. They're not thinking.
Well, they're terrorists, obviously.
I think those people you ought to line up up against the brick wall with a firing squad.
Yeah, well, I
shoot them in the groin first.
I always had the feeling that as a human race, we were probably evolving, but this is proof we're not.
The human race, we're doomed.
Yeah.
Could well be.
Between idiots like Trump getting rid of, global warming and allowing his whoever. Let's go back to allowing coal to be used to generate electricity crap. Yeah. And the Republican Party can't seem to find their ass in a bathroom loaded with toilets. And it's just so. And the rest of the world, Ukraine and now Israel, and can't we all just get along? And obviously the answer is no.
Well, no, it's just terrible that as a human race we do this to each other.
Absolutely.
I understand. I don't understand war, okay, but I understand that it exists, and it exists in a certain place, and it you want to kill your enemy, okay, that's one thing. Babies are not your enemy.
Nope.
Children are not your enemy. Old ladies are not your enemy. Old men are not your enemy.
Putin's firing into playgrounds,
That's another example of somebody who's doing it. And if you think Hamas is terrible, Putin's just as terrible.
Oh, absolutely.
So
same thing, different place.
Yep. Well, I'm going to put the theme on here, which you guys can't hear, but I can, and it sounds lovely. Anyway, hey, listen.
Your theory about rich Jews. If we had rich Jews, Jeff would be able to run a heater in his house and not have to wear a sweater.
Good. You're right. Well, that certainly goes against the theory of rich Jews, right?
Absolutely.
Boy, my nose has been dripping all night. Anyway, hey, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it, Charlie. Always good to have you here. And Alan, good to have you here. Because we need the misinformation. And Kevin, thank you for being here. And
But Jeff looks great.
And Jeff looks great.
Thank you.
Oh, he always looks great, Great looking old guy, as opposed to me.
The sweater matches the cabinet. You did a good job.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you'd all give a big wave goodbye, I'll give a wave goodbye at you. Okay, there they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. And there'll be another one getting together right here, right after we're through with Jack Bishop and the Intersection. He will take your calls on Skype. If you have Skype, if you don't, install it, and then use Skype to call him. And his phone number, literally, you can call it a phone number. She's just putting Gabnet Live, and that will get you to Jack, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to take about 22 hours off and come right back here tomorrow. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody.
Way of doing a sports show. It's intelligent, it's insightful, and it's just plain fun. It's the franchise MC, whatever that